my black people. It's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody moving me like
own self, and you don't realize it. You don't realize it, that God has been imprisoned. The devil was able to imprison God. So right inside your own self, your God self has been imprisoned, and you have a false sense of self running rampant inside the temple. This is why, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We have to bring reality's temple here on earth. Reality's temple here on earth.
Yes, sir.
We have to realize the enemy is running rampant inside this temple, and we have to recover.
Yes, sir.
We're going to go back to good old slavery. Have to go back to slavery because that is where the so-called Negro was created and origins from. Whether y'all like it or not, I know y'all talk about Kemet and y'all want to talk Timbuktu and all these great ancient civilizations. I'm sorry to bust your bubble, whether you like it or not. Just like you may not like your mother or father, but that's who they are. We was created and we came from up out of chattel slavery. That's where we origin. That's where we was born. That's where our history starts, whether you like it or not. And I can guarantee you, you want to debate and argue about it, I can prove my point quicker than you can prove your point, because your point has no foundation, because you will never be able to establish a connection or a contribution to any history outside of slavery. You want to live in delusions and fantasy, that's your business. I can accept my mother, I can accept my father, I can accept whatever the reality is. I don't need fantasy. It's cool with me. I don't want to be like white people because you have a certain mentality. And we're going to go back to slavery. The slaves understood that mentality and really didn't want nothing to do with it, because that mindset, that mentality is what oppressed them for hundreds and hundreds of years. So when the slave, the freed people, began to go on their own, I'm very sure they did not want to be like Massa, because having Massa's mentality gave them trouble for a long, long time. What is the mindset? The mindset is that Caucasian people, and not all, but a vast majority, you have been conditioned to view success as materialism. So the more houses, the more cars, the more things you can accumulate, the more successful you are supposed to be. You have become greedy. You have become a hoarder. You are very, very violent because of this obsession of material greed. You don't mind killing anything or anyone that gets in your way because you got to have a diamond. Ain't nothing but a rock, but you got to have this diamond. You got to have this gold. Ain't nothing but a piece of metal, but you put value on it, and you will kill, and you will destroy, and you will die to get these things. You're arrogant. Nobody can tell you nothing. You will know it all. And you want everybody to be like you, even if it's by force. So the North Koreans have to be like you. They have to like spaghetti and American apple pie just like you. You think that somebody's supposed to serve you and praise you. Don't you see that's a sick mentality? You don't see nothing wrong with it? It's become the norm. Now, when I was growing up, and you can go back during slavery, you notice there's a different attitude. The slaves and the freed people, and even those when I was growing up, they only wanted nice things, to live decent. There was nobody. I got to have gold. I got to have diamonds. I got to have silver. I got to have. There definitely was nobody running around, serve me, praise me. And we wasn't as violent and greedy and arrogant towards one another. We was more caring back during those days. We did not trip off, are you biracial? Are you triracial? Are you a homosexual? We didn't trip off those different things. Well, if you was Christian minded, you did. But even then, not like we are nowadays. Because I never heard all that. But now, because we have adopted, and we are adopted the Caucasian mentality, this sick mentality of falling in love with things, and you view things as success. Now we have become just as sick. Even y'all in the black conscious community, African power, all that stuff. Matter of fact, y'all even use, some of y'all black power, black conscious folks, African whatever, you even use the white man as an example. Well, you see, the white man do this, the white man do that. But at the same time, you say that the white man is the devil. Why would you use this guy as an example of success, of being positive? Because you have become just like them. You have become materialistic. You believe that money and economics will solve your problem, and it has not to this day. You are greedy and arrogant, and you want everybody to be like you. Going back to the Caucasian people, they want everybody to be like America all over the earth. I want everybody to be like America. There's a story taught in the Nation of Islam teachings about this scientist who wanted to make everybody the same, speak the same language and all that. And nobody wanted to do that. So he got very angry, and he decided to put dynamite throughout the earth. I don't know how he done it, but he put explosive throughout the earth, and he tried to blow the earth up. Thus created the moon. And anyway, if y'all want to know that story, just ask the Nation of Islam about this story. But what do Caucasian people say all the time? If I don't get my way, what can happen? They tell us we can blow the earth because we have so many nuclear weapons. We can blow the earth. We can blow the earth up 10 times over. The same mentality. Then y'all talk about how wacky Caucasian people are, but according to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which happened a few trillion years ago or whatever, I believe it's a few hundred trillion years ago, this scientist had this scientist who was black, I guess African or whatever, this fella had the same type of attitude. Since I can't get my way, I'm going to blow the whole earth up. Since North Korea, since Iran, since whoever don't want to do what I want them to do, I will blow everything up. I don't give a damn about World War III. Let's do it. Let's destroy everything. So what is success? What is success in the mind of sick people like this? What is the cost of such success? You looking at the houses and the diamonds. Y'all, some of y'all are really impressed. The beautiful cars on the street, the fine clothes and all. It's just so wonderful. The whole thing is just so wonderful. Caucasian, white people, European success comes at what cost? It comes at the cost of death. Success means death to this planet, because most of your activity poisons the earth. your cars, your airplanes, your laptops, your cell phones, messing with these different chemicals. It poisons the earth. A destroyer of plant and animal life. How many in the history of the Caucasian European people with this mindset, how many people have died and perished, including Europeans themselves, because of this sick mentality? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach, accept your own and be yourself. But he says that yourself is a righteous Muslim. I don't agree with that. Because that's a label that was created for somebody else. I don't want to be somebody else. In order to accept your own, you need to be who you are. You should not allow others to identify and label who you are. However, if you are like them, if you are greedy, you're violent and arrogant and profane and nasty and vulgar, maybe that's the description for you. But I don't want to be like white people. I don't want to be like Arabs. I don't want to be like Africans. I don't want to be like the Chinese. All these persons, all these countries, all these different type of people, you don't want to be like them. Because since many of you are supposed to be scholars of history, you know that all these people, the Africans, the Chinese, the Europeans, all of them, they all screwy. They all have become a victim of this mentality that I'm describing. Materialistic, serve me. So you have a class of people who think they are better than another. I'm royalty. Serve me. Actually, royalty is supposed to serve the people. They got it backwards, but nowadays you have it where it's the royalty. Serve. Submit. Praise me. That's what it's all about. At what cost? So you drive a fancy car and you wear all these different clothes and you don't care nothing about the person that is getting paid 5 cents an hour to build a car, make your clothes. What does that make you? And this is how you want to be. You want to be like this. You think that how the world is revolving right now, you think that's cool. But at the same time, when the oppression, when the injustice is on you, now you want to complain. And even Caucasian people, when the shoe is on the other foot, I should be getting paid more. Why are people doing this to me? I ain't serving nobody. Religious persecution. They don't like it. I don't want to be like those I complain about. This is what is wrong with revolution. What's the sense of liberation and revolution? And then you turn around and be just like the people who you complained about. When you study the French Revolution and the Russian Revolution, Chinese Revolution, or any type of revolution, you will see many times that the people who was oppressed and they revolted and they liberated themselves from an oppressor, next thing you know, they become just like the people they complain about. I don't want to be like them. And I don't need your label. I can identify myself. So I say on this platform, we are the people of soul, the descendants of slaves born in America. Because that's the name we gave ourselves. Nobody else did that. And then we determine what that really is. It's our own identification. It's our own label. I don't want to be an Arab. I don't want to be an African American. I don't want to be the things that somebody else put on me. Well, you say, well, Jesse Jackson, he's a soul brother. He made that up. But it's the wrong identification because Africa is a continent and America is a continent. We are not continents. So we begin the process of our identification by what our ancestors gave us, calling us brothers and sisters of soul. And whatever that may be, whatever the conclusion of that process may be, we determine that. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to brag, I'm not going to boast, but I would tell you, for a long part of my life, a large percentage of my life, people have called me real, being real. There's a brother that used to be on YouTube. He's now my Facebook friend, JT Riley one. Some of you may have heard of him. He always say, there's only two people in this world, fake and real. Either you fake or you real. Some of y'all think that you're real, but really you are fake. And I'm gonna sort of show us how we are fake and we think that we're real in just a second, using myself as an example, but I'm gonna keep it real. There's only two people in this world, fake or real. And even back in the day, when I was a Muslim running around, there was a gang member or gang members, and they was talking about the black Muslims. And they really didn't like the black Muslims, but they told me, man, I think you're real. You real. They didn't get that real vibe from them. And then, of course, you have the naysayers, the ones who said, man, you fake all day. But when you ask them, how is Brother Angel Snuffing Up 7 fake? Now, I would tell you, I'm not a liar. I may be mistaken. But when you lie, lying is the intentional attempt to deceive. I don't lie. I may not understand. I may be mistaken, but I'm not a liar. In fact, that's the one good thing about the Crazy House. The Crazy House studied me for 10 years. And according to the records of the Crazy House, of which I do have, I read much of what the staff had to say about me. They don't call me a liar. They don't call me a whoremonger. They don't call me a thief. All these different things you might call somebody. Those things you will not find in me, and I have been studied for 10 years. Now, those of you who make mockery of me because I went to the Crazy House, you have not been studied. My enemies say I don't lie. My enemies say he is not a homosexual. My enemies say all these things about me. I have never, even though I wanted to, because some of these women piss me off, but I never call women hoes and bitches, never. And I'm keeping it real. So when I was a black Muslim, when you join the Nation of Islam, of course when you join religion, you are expected, especially when you are talking about holding up high moral standard, there are certain things in your life you can't do no more. Of course, as a Muslim, you're not expected to eat pork anymore. And one of the things I did not know, but one of the things that I guess you're expected to change your flavor in music. And so I was a Michael Jackson fan, and I also was a fan of Elvis Presley. So I joined the black Muslims, and I had to stop listening to Elvis Presley and all the Caucasian singers that I was used to listening to, and Michael Jackson. I even gave away my records. Wow. So here I am, a black Muslim. Now I don't know exactly how they found out, but they found out, the brothers found out that I was still listening to Elvis Presley. And they start making mockery. Now, to my knowledge, and I've read a lot of information on the black Muslim theology, I never read nowhere where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught that you could not listen to Caucasian music. I was raised on Elvis. Elvis was one of the first. In fact, I did not listen to music at all. But growing up in the 60s and early 70s, Elvis was very popular, and the Beatles was very popular. I listened to Elvis and the Beatles. And the reason why I basically listened to the Elvis and the Beatles, because they was on TV all the time. The Beatles had a cartoon show and all this kind of good stuff. So I like Elvis Presley music. And the brothers, the FOI, they was making mockery. That brother, you know, he listens to Elvis Presley. Now, I had two choices. Now, well, let me make this statement. When you join religion, if you're a Christian, they expect you to listen to gospel music. And when you're a Muslim, they expect you to start listening to jazz. I don't like gospel music. The only gospel music that I can even attempt to listen to is my fine soul sisters, Mary Mary, the Winans, and Kurt Franklin. I can listen to that. I do not like gospel music. I do not like jazz music. Never have. The closest to jazz music I might listen to is probably a little bit of Louis Armstrong. I don't like jazz music. Then they want to give me the history of music. I don't care about the root of music. I don't care about the history of music. I don't like jazz. I don't like gospel music. Every other word is Jesus, 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 Jesus. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that stuff. So either, like J.T. Riley say, I'm going to be real or I'm going to be fake. So I told those brothers outright, I am going to be me. The hell with this religion. I love Elijah Muhammad. I love the black Muslims. I love what I'm into, but I'm not going to stop being me. Now, I never was a pork eater anyway. Well, I can't say that. Yeah, I was raised on pork, but I never cared nothing about the pork anyway. So that was easy. And that's sort of different, because in order to be a Muslim, that's divinely prohibited by God. So I cannot say that I'm a Muslim and want to eat pork, which some of y'all do. I know Muslims that eat a whole lot of swine. Whole lot of swine. But anyway, be you. That's between you and God. This other sucker don't have no right to tell you what you can and cannot do. However, in the Quran, pork is divinely prohibited. Listen to Elvis Presley is not divinely prohibited nowhere in the Quran. It's not divinely prohibited nowhere that I saw in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And even so, this means I have to leave the religion because I like Elvis Presley music. And then you have those, well, you see, Elvis Presley said the only thing a black man can do is shine his shoes. I don't see no evidence of that. Elvis Presley was basically poor white trash. He grew up with black folks, soul brothers and sisters, and that's where he got his style from. Everything about Elvis came from soul people, and even Elvis said that. But when he became famous, his racist Caucasian handlers, Caucasian handlers, as you know, they surround him and they influence him and keep certain things away, and you know how they do people. Just like our brothers and sisters who become famous, like Michael Jackson, then he becomes surrounded by Caucasian people, and y'all know what happens to us, and we also should know what can happen to them, because basically Elvis was nothing but a black man, in a white man's body. He was raised with us. But going back to myself, I I'm not going to be what I'm not. So if I have to leave the religion, then so be it. There are many of you who faking the funk. I'm a Christian. Know dang well you don't like gospel music, and you really sneaking around listening to your music that you really like. Same thing with Muslims. Matter of fact, I have relatives that was talking about me. You listen to Elvis Presley. Then I come to find out, look, and they follow Louis Farrakhan right now. They listen to Caucasian music. They have an excuse. But when it came to me, brother, what you listening to that Elvis Presley? I was raised in American society, and this influenced me. I like Elvis Presley music. So if you don't like me because I listen to Elvis, bye-bye. Because I'm going to be me. I'm going to keep it real. I'm not going to fake the funk. But you're never going to find nobody who stands for injustice, who stands for our people more than I do. Because that's the important thing. I have a brother on Facebook. Everybody's clapping their hands because he wants to, he's moving to Africa, he says. Oh, good, that's so good, brother, you're going to Africa. You are not an African. You faking the funk. The only way we, as African so-called Americans, can become an African is that we have to be born again. And you can't be born again. The only chance that we have is that you take your children, move them to Africa, to that continent, and allow them to grow up in that environment. Then they can actually become what you want, an African. Other than that, the Elvis is still in you. Other than that, you still think about taking that drink of alcohol and smoking that weed and all the things that we was doing in this world. It's still you. It's still in us. We just try to keep it under control. Because if you put us in the right environment, you will go right back to whoremongering. You go right back to being a drunk, smoking weed, being a drug addict, and all the other things, being a Christian, being whatever the hell you was prior to being self-righteous and holier than thou, whatever you think that you are right now. You'll go right back because you're still a Negro. Ain't nothing changed except you faking the funk. I'm not going to fake the funk. So when you come around me, and if you riding with me in my car, and Elvis Presley come on, don't say a damn thing to me. I'm telling you now, Elvis, the Beatles, the Captain and Tennille, a whole lot of Caucasian artists I listen to. That's just the bottom line. I'm not going to fake the funk with you and keep playing Public Enemy, Don't Believe the Hype, Fight the Power, and try to pretend to be something that I'm not. And some of y'all really do. You put on your avatar, Malcolm X, and you sleeping with a Caucasian woman. You know damn well Malcolm X don't represent that, but we know what you're doing. Y'all a bunch of fakers and funk. There's only two people in this world. Either you real or you fake. So my purpose is to begin a process and try to create an environment so our babies, our children, don't have to fake the funk. They can actually be what we envision, what some of us envision in our mind. They can be that. We striving. Just like in religion, they talk about we're striving to be righteous. Our children don't have to strive to be righteous. They can be what we cannot be. We're striving, trying to be. We might make it, and we might not make it. But we're trying. And we're sincere, trying to change our lives to be better. And we should want better for our children. So that brother can go to Africa and live there. He will always be a Negro. A Negro African. That's what you're going to be. You're not going to be. And those people on that continent know that you're not them. when I was incarcerated, when I was locked up, there was a sister. I forget what her name is. I think her name was Soul Sister Linda Williams. And she was part of this program that was really designed for mentally disabled, or some of y'all don't like the word, retarded folks. And she was part of this program, and the reality was all their programming was basically for people with very low IQ, suffering mental retardation, and they had me in these groups, in these classes. Oh wow, they had to feel stupid. I mean, I'm out of place. But anyway, myself and Soul Sister Linda, we had a love-hate relationship because I did not want to be there, and I was a rebel. I did not go along with the programming. Just ain't happening. So she liked me, but she did not like me because I wouldn't get with the program. How you doing, Sister Linda? But I bring Sister Linda to your attention because she gave me a nickname when I was in that hideous place. And the nickname she gave me was the Brain. She said, you know, you remind me of that cartoon character. Y'all heard of that cartoon, Pinky and the Brain? And she called me the Brain because every time she saw me, it looked like I was thinking about, well, she knew I was always thinking about getting out of that place. But she also thought I was thinking beyond that place. And what was the Brain's goal? Pinky, the other little dumb mouse in the cartoon, what we gonna do today, Brain? And the Brain always told Pinky, we getting ready to take over the world. Wow. Here are two rats, here are two mice, and these rats, they became intelligent because of some type of experiment. But when they have great intelligence, these mice, their goal is to take over the world. And if you look at history, from all the different peoples, you notice that's a concurring theme. What y'all gonna do? We want to take over the world. That was the purpose of having great civilization. That was the purpose of creating these great kingdoms, because they wanted to take over the world. They wanted the world to be just like them. But see, that's really against nature, because in nature, life is diverse. Nature is never going to allow one particular person, one particular people to take over the world. So there are those of you who still have that same type of thinking. I'm going to take over the world. You want to make everybody like you. It's not going to happen, because from your very roots, from the place that you make, somebody's going to rise up and don't want to be like you. It's not natural. Earth and life is diverse. So that type of thinking, like that, you're not going to make it. That's why Rome fell, Egypt fell, all the great civilizations, they always fall, because people are not going to accept being the same all over this earth. It's not going to happen.
Any message has arrived.
Now, but I noticed in the so-called Negro, we don't think like that. We don't think about taking over, which in a way that's good, but also at the same time, we don't think on that level. When the Europeans first came to America, I'm very sure they was not thinking about sharing the land with the natives. They was thinking about taking it all. taking over the world. That's how they think. So when it comes to leadership, and there are some of you who say, we don't need no, I'm my own leader. That's nonsense. Because you think that following a leader means you following somebody flesh and blood directly. Following a leader, that leader could be dead. Look how many people follow Jesus. And actually, as you know, they're not following Jesus. They are following the dead people. They're following the dead people that created the religion. You're not following Elijah Muhammad. You're following a dead man that created a movement. You're following a dead prophet, Prophet Muhammad, that created a religion or a movement. So the leader, those of whom you follow, don't necessarily have to be alive. You smoke weed. You drink. You want to get in everybody's panties. All these thinking processes, they are not, none of them are original that came from you. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, you are influenced by some leader. You are influenced by somebody that is dead or alive, and you follow them. Thus you have a leader. The only one that does not have any kind of leader is the one who is void of any influence, and they have to come up, they have to do all this on their own, influenced by nothing. And that goes way, way back. We're not included. We eat apples, we eat oranges, we ride horses. All this is because we follow somebody else's footsteps. Which is, there's nothing wrong with that. The problem with leadership is competent leadership that is looking out for your best interest. Competent leadership that establishes, look, listen to me. Competent leadership that establishes a purpose, a goal, and the execution of that purpose, and a vision for the future that they will not live, they will not be there to see. You do not see that in so-called black leadership. For example, the Million Man March. The Million Man March was good, was cool. Might have had real good intent. What was the purpose? The purpose is to gather men and atone. That, I mean, no, that's not a purpose. See, you have to have a purpose and a goal. There was no purpose. There was no real goal for the Million Man March. There was no plan of execution. So people was just asked to atone for their sins against their women and children and against whoever. And everybody was set out. You do your thing. He do his thing. She do. Everybody. That's not how leadership should work. Leadership has a purpose. Leadership must have a goal and an execution for that purpose and that goal. And a vision that lasts, or they can see where our people need to be 10 years, 20, 30, 40, 100 years from now. They say in religion that the gods could see the future hundreds of years in advance. Well, you say or claim that the black man and woman is God. You cannot hardly get up tomorrow to go to work and plan for that. Least to say, suffice to say, about where are your children, great-grandchildren going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 years from now. So you have leadership that is incompetent. There's nothing wrong with leadership. The only thing wrong with leadership, and you have no choice. Because like I say, you are going to follow somebody or something because you have no choice. We come into this world knowing nothing. And I know there are many of you, oh man, you full of bull crap. I'm my own person. I do my own thing. You are your own liar. You are in denial. Because there's nothing that you talk about that is original. You have no original thought. There's nothing. We come into this world knowing nothing. So the information that you're getting and analyzing and your influence comes from outside. It starts with your parents, your older brothers and sisters, the children in the neighborhood, TV, radio, books, and whatever. You read many books, and some of the people that wrote these books are dead, and you follow what they're talking about. So again, a leader does not necessarily have to be alive. This nation continues to follow the pattern of their forefathers who have been dead for the last, what, 300 years or more? So a leader does not necessarily have to be alive. Nothing wrong with leadership. Nothing wrong with being a follower. Because all of us, we're not leadership material. But when we choose to follow a leader, we should look to see if they are competent. Do they really know what they're doing? And your leaders think real small. Let's open up a barber shop, a restaurant. They don't think big. They don't think about taking over the world. Like I said, you really can't do that. It's not going to happen, really. But you have to think big. Black leadership does not think big. They give you a DVD, come see a debate, small stuff. So here I am, the brain. I'm talking about taking over a state. And that's little stuff. That's little stuff. The Caucasian people came to America, and when you really look at it, only about less than 300 Caucasian people established America. Look what America has done, starting with 300 people. Here you are, educated, have lots of money, lots of resources, and you can barely open a barbershop. What's wrong with you? Your leadership still has you thinking small. Your leadership does not inspire. Your leadership has no purpose for you, thus cannot set a goal, thus cannot execute, thus have no vision. And the very same leadership will turn around and tell you, without vision, the people perish. And that's what you're doing. You're just sitting around because you really have nothing to do, and you're rotting, and you are going into nothingness. You have to think big. When you think big, you get big results. When you get small, when you think small, you're going to get small results. I thought big in my personal situation, and I got big results. That's why I'm talking to you right now. What brings me to this talk, I was listening, or rather I watched a video by a brother. I forgot what his name, Hakeem, I think, something. I forgot what that brother's name. I'm sorry, because I would mention you, give you your credit. But it was him, and also I watch Dr. Boyce Watkins sometimes, and both of these brothers speak to us. And this other brother, what is his name? I can't forget that brother's name. But anyway, he wants, I don't know about Dr. Boyce Watkins, but I know this brother said, the black folks, y'all soul people, whatever you want to call yourself, y'all should follow him. He has the plan, and it's an economic plan. Put some money in our pockets, and money, economics, there are many of those who say economics will solve the problem of the so-called Negro in America. By the way, I am Angel Snub 7, and this is the Reality's Temple on Earth. I am your soul brother, number one. Let me respond to that type of thinking by saying this. Let's go back to the late 1920s, early 1930s, somewhere in there. And we have the Jewish people living in Germany prior to the Nazi Party coming into power. Just the beginning, the Nazi Party is rising. And you have Jewish persons who are German. And they are very prosperous. All kinds of businesses, doing very well, have very good economics. Okay? Very good economics. I think that some of you already know where I'm going with this. Wonderful economics. And while they are enjoying great business, having a good time, good economics, the Nazi Party is rising. And next thing you know, with all these businesses, all this good economics, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party began to shut all of it down and steal their valuables and begin to put them in ovens and use them for experiments and all kinds of stuff. But they had good economics. Did economics stop them from being placed in an oven? From being tortured in some type of experiment? No, it did not. But they had economics. Come follow me. I can build a business that can make you millions of dollars. And the Germans destroyed it all. Why? It did not save the Jews from a Holocaust. So we come to America. Remember Black Wall Street? Remember Rosewood? Remember all these prosperous, wonderful, economically rich communities that the so-called Negro brothers and sisters of soul, the descendants of slaves born in America, that our ancestors had all over this country, in many places anyway, if not all over the nation. What happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma? They had lots of money. They were economically strong. Did it save them from being bombed? It's so horrible. I watched a documentary, and one of the children that survived the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombing. I'm not talking about Timothy McVeigh. It was a horrible thing. And y'all sit here and so silly, and you actually want to continue to live in this nation. When the Jews suffered their Holocaust, they were quick to get the hell out of there. They don't want to go there right now to this day. And the Germans that live there today are not, and we know they are not the ones that committed these atrocities. But they don't want nothing to do with Germany like that. They will take German money, the state of Israel, but they don't want nothing to do. They don't want to interact, no association with Germany like that. And here we are, the Black Holocaust. And here we are, we laying and just smiling and giggling. Come follow me because of some economics. But economics did not stop the Holocaust, and the economics did not stop Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street from being destroyed. Economics alone is not going to do nothing for you. It's not going to liberate you as a people. It's not going to do nothing for you except make you docile. Make you more comfortable in your oppression because you got some money. So somebody like Oprah Winfrey, I don't mean to talk about my sister Oprah because I don't know. I really don't know you, Oprah. I don't know Will Smith. I don't know our rich brothers and sisters that have great wealth. I really don't know you, but I do know when you have money, when you're comfortable, you can tolerate racism.
You can bear with it because you're more comfortable. Makes you docile. You really don't want to fight it because your money protects you to a certain point. Unfortunately, that's not the case with our poor brother, Bill Cosby. See, Bill stepped over the line. We're going to talk about that in a hangout later on, I guess. Economics. Now, you listen to me. Economics mean nothing. You are like a chicken living with foxes, which is stupid. A chicken should not live with a fox because foxes eat chickens. And foxes like to eat eggs too. So every now and then, if chickens live with foxes, believe me, some chickens going to get ate. We just had some chickens ate. Some brothers and sisters was just shot down at a Waffle House. Gonna talk about that, I guess, in a Google Hangout. The fox got to eat him some chickens and some eggs sooner or later. You live with the fox. What do you expect? And these brothers, Dr. Boyce Watkins and this other brother, giving you the false illusion like money, your economics is going to protect you or save you or liberate you from an oppressor, and that is false. It's proven. No doubt. It's not going to do nothing for you at all. At all. Economics. And you don't have a way to protect yourself. Look. Woo. Woo. Economics. And you don't have a way to protect your economics. It's a waste of damn time. If you have economics, but you don't have soldiers to protect your economic life, then it's a waste of time. It's just a matter of time when your enemies, when those who don't like you, when they decide your time is over, then it's a wrap. Not only do you, in our situation, soul brothers and sisters in America, in our particular situation, I would advise us to develop a military, a way of protecting yourself against these bombings and other evils that can come against you. Whether you need it or not, you better have it. I mean, you can pay for it. You got the money. You're doing good economically, right? So you need to support a military, protect what you build. But in America, not only, I'm not talking about a physical threat like Tulsa, Oklahoma, and some other places, but you also have economic power, but you don't control the law. The fox create and apply the law. So you have economics and you need to protect your economic strength. You need physical soldiers for a physical threat, but you also need lawyers. You need legal defense. You need attorneys, an army of lawyers, so that the fox won't charge you with tax evasion, tax fraud, mail fraud, all kinds of stuff they can bring against you and can make up. They can manufacture these things. So you need to protect. Otherwise, you get caught up on a lie and all your economics, all the economics that Dr. Boyce Watkins built, all the economic power that this other brother built, don't mean nothing. Because when the fox get ready, he can eat you anytime he feel like it, and there's nothing you can do about it because you can't protect yourself. So the Jews had a lot of money, had a lot of material wealth, but they could not protect themselves. The Nazis just came in, kicked open their doors, threw them in ovens and gas chambers, and took their money, took their wealth, took their valuables. No big deal, because they could not protect. Even in nature, if you can't protect what you get, it's a wrap. It's a done deal. So you are a cheater, and you run down an antelope, and you spend all your time and energy. Woo, man, woo, I'm so hungry. I finally got this antelope. Then some lions come by, and you can't protect. You can't defend what you just got. So on nature programs, you see all the time when a cheetah makes a kill and lions show up, they like, well, we'll forget it. Because they know they cannot protect what they earned. What they earned. This is why most animals eat real fast. They grab something and start eating fast as possible because something might show up to take, because they know they cannot defend against all threats. You understand where I'm coming from? So all this is nothing but hype. Dr. Boyce Watkins and this brother, all of us, they want you to think that because you get some money, it's all good. No, what it is, you're trying to be like your massa. You want a big house and a big car, and you want a flow show. You want to be like your massa. And as long as you want to be like your massa, ain't nothing going to go right for you, because you should not want to be like your massa. You see the kind of trouble your massa is having. Why you want to be like him? Because you think success is money. That's prosperity. Money is happiness. But it's not going to be happy for you, because sooner or later, because you still live with the fox going to take it from you sooner or later. History verifies this. Oh, he can't do it. He can and he will with the right circumstance. You think he's going to sit up and let some Negroes, some slaves, do better than him in his house?